Hey man, for whatever reason, the default microphone changed on my computer, so I recorded an entire video without any audio. All right, what's going on, guys? It's Jeff. So today is August 13th. So tomorrow, on August 14th, the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake gonna come out, but I actually ended up getting an early access code. LMAX ended up allowing me to get into contact with Matt, and Matt ended up giving me a code. So I've been playing it, and the one thing that I want to add immediately to, the thing, this game feels incredible. It actually feels like a true Tony Hawk game again. Basically, every Tony Hawk game after American Wasteland kind of went away from what Tony Hawk was. Right after American Wasteland, they came out with like Project 8 and Proving Grounds and things like that, where they tried to add in that whole slow motion thing, and you can create your own tricks by controlling your feet with the sticks and all this other stuff. They basically tried to outskate skate. And it's just not really gonna work. It's like trying to watch Need for Speed out Gran Turismo. They need to just stay in their own. It's not that the Tony Hawk games can't be kind of realistic or make things look realistic, and it's not like you can't make skate look a bit more over the top and arcade. But general rule of thumb, most people know that Tony Hawk is a bit more arcadey, skate is a bit more realistic. As far as either of them being incredibly realistic, the biggest complaint that I have, since you can't get off of your board, guys, listen, the developers over there, if any of you guys can hear me, since you can't get off of your board, can you guys please, because it ruins the flow of your combos, okay? You need to, at the very least, add in a spacewalk or some sort of mechanic that allows the player, whenever they stop, it's stuck in manual, they have to be able to have some sort of ability to be able to move again, be able to gain momentum without ending their combo. It kills your combos. There's so many times where I'll end up like stuck in the half pipe or something like that. Now I'm stuck because I can't do a move that allows me to get out anymore. I'm just stuck there. Before, you would be able to either get off of your board where you don't even need to completely jump onto your feet. You just for a second ollie very high, get off of your board, and then get back on your board before you land to be able to kind of push your character in a certain direction. When you ollie in a certain direction and get off of your board in the air, you can kind of control what direction you go in. I would say this game kind of has this Underground 1 vibe to it. But anyway, enough on that whole thing. You guys can add the spacewalk. Thank you, I love it. Yesterday, I finished out the Odin. Here, I'll show it really quick. So we got the Obsidian, Kilo, Fal, M4, FAMAS, Odin, M13. We're currently working on the Scar. We're like 3/4 of the way through it. It's like 150 or so out of 200. I ended up getting off. I could have played for another, couple hours or whatever it would have been to be able to finish it. But, so the Odin, right, on the Colossus suppressor, big ass barrel, whatever. It doesn't really matter. So boom, got the Obsidian for Odin. It's really, obviously, you're not going to really get anything crazy or special or whatever. They're not going to reward me either once I'm done with all of this, getting Obsidian for every gun. So going over to the Scar, 153 out of 200. So this is a class setup that I've been running, the usual stuff that I would on Shipment. Monolithic suppressor for damage. Got this close quarters barrel on here just because we don't really need any of the range. The speediness is nice. Merc foregrip for the hip fire recoil control. 5 milliwatt laser to really tighten up your hip fire, and then stipple to be able to get that sprint to fire speed. Don't need a long explanation. People understand classes. Once I finish this out, it'll be on to the AK. The AK is going to be really nice and hardcore because it's definitely going to one-shot people to like the foot and stuff. So the RAM will probably be pretty consistent. The Growl, though, the Growl is kind of a different story. And of course, I get shoot house. I'll stay. It's whatever. Oh, no, there's a guy sitting there going for his little challenges down the middle. I remember when I was doing Damascus and all I did was just throw smokes mid and just sit there with a thermal. I mean, that was the best way to be able to get the long shots because people wouldn't challenge otherwise. Reloading. You're just sitting there, man. What is wrong with you guys? Oh, here we go. I'm gonna mute before this guy says some shit into the microphone. I can already tell. Usually, I don't know what it is. Every single time I hear somebody go and fumble around on their microphone and get on it, they go and swallow it immediately, and then they go and say something really, well, it ain't gonna go on YouTube, that's for sure. Oh, great. My teammate's following me around behind me. Can you please be useful? God, my teammate, dude. Look at him just... When you just kill me and move forward like you usually would instead of looking at my body, man, like, why can't people just kill me like everybody else? I just don't fucking get it. Also, with UFC 4 coming out tomorrow, I'm just gonna sit there and I'm gonna make a, request video and stuff like that. The usual request video that would be there. I'm gonna do a regular full playthrough through the game, whatever the default difficulty is or whatever, but I've been seeing people play the game on, like, the higher difficulties and stuff on Legendary and even on other modes, and it looks easy. Like, for whatever reason, the AI seems very, very easy to, especially in the grappling department. Yeah, they'll throw little fakes and stuff out there, but in the grappling department, they seem kind of lackluster and a little bit more spammy. If you go like a submission specialist on Legendary, it's probably going to be one of the easiest things ever. So I'm sure people would want to see Requise on Legendary and stuff like that, but it's like my other playthroughs, I'm probably just going to play on the regular difficulty, whatever that regular difficulty is for the first playthrough, and then if people want a Legendary playthrough, we can do that, or we can just go online or whatever it may be, whatever you guys want me to do, but I'm going to do that whole playthrough on regular or whatever at first, just to be able to get through the whole story and see it all, you know, unfold. Watch Requise! The demigod reclaimed glory! Not entirely sure how many episodes long it's gonna be or exactly how I'm gonna edit it or whatever, because from what I've seen for this anyway, it seems like all of the training and stuff is a lot more plentiful in this game. Long periods of time of training in between the fights, more so than you did before. Like, for example, on the other games, you would spend at most a few minutes, you know, doing anything that's actual sparring besides just clicking, you know, boost on all of your stats. This one, you actually have to keep throwing combos and stuff like that across the thing, so. This game also, the submissions seem really, really strong. Not just from like an AI perspective, like the game just, it actually seems like submissions are pretty strong. That could be because the minigame is a bit easier to do in comparison to the previous years or something, I'm not entirely sure. But submissions seem very, very consistent in getting people out of there just by having like small little stamina discrepancies and stuff too. Or if straight out overall your strength is just way better than their defense as far as your submission offense versus their submission defense, you can literally win straight up off of one transition denial. One transition denial will take out like a quarter of your thing, and then they will immediately try to submit you. Now, you can slam out of it. There's all these like little different alternatives. You guys will see all of it probably tomorrow or whatever, you know, day I take to do this, but I'll play his regular thing through on regular or harder difficulty, whatever. Regardless, at the end of it all, people only ever want to see Requise dominating people anyway, and most, if not any character that has, shit, not even just AI, real players don't know what to do when they're fighting against him. So they literally just sit there like dumbfounded. People wouldn't even be able to tell the difference in difficulty anyway. You could argue that on Legendary, when you get your belt and you get deeper and deeper into it, yeah, sure, your opponents will get harder, but eventually, if you end up building your character correctly, you end up, again, just like the other game, just being cheesy enough to be able to win the usual way you would. Like, sure, fine, the fights might get a little bit harder, but if you're a submission specialist, for example, all it takes is a couple grapples here and there, and then all you have to do is just hit submit, and you will do. A similar case if you're a character that has, like, you know, 5-star punching power, punching speed, fully upgraded hooks and overhands and stuff like that. When you land on somebody, they're gonna go down, regardless of the difficulty. That lands, they're going down. I actually forgot all yesterday to run that riot shield. Not even gonna bother with that. Yeah, that's the plan for everything. Requise will return tomorrow, and depending on how, you know, the response is to that whole thing, I could either do like a Legendary playthrough for him, maybe make some changes if we end up running into like some weird glaring issues with his first build or whatever, we could try to do that. Or if people want me to play online or whatever it is. And then, you know, now in the middle of this grind and stuff like that, I could throw some Requise videos in the mix there instead of you guys watching me play Shipment for the 8,000th time. So yeah, Requise tomorrow.